Jetzt ist nichts mehr so wie früher. Jetzt pendeln die Menschen. Jetzt rücken wir zusammen. Jetzt wird man informiert und unterhalten. Jetzt ist da Werbung dabei. Jetzt schreiben da trotzdem echte Journalisten. Jetzt sind wir Pioniere. Jetzt glaubt das wieder keiner. Jetzt sind wir wieder die Einzigen. Jetzt ist 2019. Jetzt ist unsere DNA seit 20 Jahren.
Powered by UBC.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome along to this very special occasion. Of course, we are here at the RedBull Gaming World by Logitech G online series featuring FIFA 21 Pro Clubs. My name is Brandon Smith, and joining me for tonight's action is Richard Buckley. And Richard, new territory for us, our first ever Pro Clubs commentary. We used to commentate on an Ultimate Team in the world of competitive FIFA. There's even more competitive FIFA, Richard, on the other angle of competitive FIFA Pro Clubs. And I'm absolutely buzzing for this one. I don't know about you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a huge advocate of Pro Clubs for a number of years. I've stepped into the competitive world myself, numerous different leagues, and it's great to see an organisation such as RedBull taking this opportunity and giving us some, hopefully, very entertaining gameplay. Before we get into who's going to be playing and everything like that, it's very important that we credit the fantastic sponsors that help put these broadcasts together. AOC, Mifcom, 20 Minuten, esports.ch, also RTS Esports, as well as RedBull Gaming World themselves, powered by Logitech G. It's with those people and those fantastic sponsors that events like this can take place.
Yeah, exactly that. If you aren't aware of how this process happened or how we even got to tonight's broadcast, it was a tournament that was created by RedBull, of course, with Logitech sponsoring it, to find the best Pro Clubs team. And then what happened, Richard? The best Pro Clubs team went up against our star team tonight, which is going to be NGL Esports. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Before we do so, this is what they're playing for. It will be a simple aggregate scoreline, 2 games of FIFA. If we are all square, we'll go into a best of 3. But this is what they're playing for, Richard. You win a game of Pro Clubs. You don't win nothing. You don't just win the pride. You win 1,500 Swiss francs tonight. The runner-up will take home 500 Swiss francs. Of course, the qualifiers kicked off back in December. And here we are now, Richard, with one team left, over 100-plus players signed up for this one. But what is special about this, it's not 3v3 Pro Clubs or 4v4. It's 11 v 11 Pro Clubs, Richard. So everyone on that pitch has a responsibility. We've all played it with friends and family, of course, in previous times. But as someone that's played a bit of competitive Pro Clubs, Richard, how does that change from that friendly family vibe to going into playing for cash at the end of the day?
Yeah, so just basically describing what it is. We're used to watching Ultimate Team. I'm controlling the 11 players on my team, and you're controlling the 11 players on your team. What Pro Clubs is, you get the control of one player. Usually, you'll have someone playing as any, which is all the rest of the CPU control players, and they will have control of those selected players. What is happening when it's 11 players against 11 players, every single player on the pitch, all 22, are human controlled. So if your fullback has to go and answer the door because the postman's here and he plays everyone on side, that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's it's the small margins. We often say the small margins in FIFA, especially in Ultimate Team, make the difference. In Pro Clubs, it's even fine-combed, even thinner, because it really is a player not stepping up in line, a player not tracking a runner. Very similar to real life, the mistakes will cost you.
Yeah, we can see the live Twitch chat as well. So a big welcome to everybody that's currently watching on RedBull's Twitch channel here. Good evening to everybody. Hope everyone is keeping safe and well. Talk to us tonight. We want to hear some predictions from you. What team are you on? Are you on NGL or our challengers for tonight? Well, without any further ado, let's see who made the grand final. You can see it in the broadcast. It was the Spanish Pro Clubs team. I believe that's the pronunciation of Onente Esports. And there's a lot of Spaniards in here right now that will probably correct me on that, if not. Up against the team that were invited, and that was the NGL All-Stars, Richard. Looking at the sort of broadcast run that these guys had to go through. A lot of games, Richard, in qualifiers for Onente. Lots of different games, lots of challenging matchups. and a lot of stacked teams in that bracket.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as soon as this tournament was publicised, a lot of competitive teams and a lot of competitive clubs really got on board and said, look, we fancy a bit of this, do you know what I mean? The funny thing is with pro clubs, everyone backs themselves. You will notice this. I've been in the pro clubs community long enough. Everyone fancies themselves as one of the best. Because you get that mentality, you might be the best in your team, but you've not seen the wider world. You've not seen the rest of the community, players in VFL, players in VPG, numerous different leagues, and the teams that we're watching here today are the very top of those designated leagues. They're playing some of the best competitions that Europe has to offer, so expect the level of competition to exceed your expectations this evening.
Yeah, it's great that RedBull Gaming World, of course, sponsored by Logitech G, have made this tournament a possibility. Let's have a look at how the starting teams will look tonight. It's 11v11 pro clubs, as we said. And this is the fun part, Richard. We're used to saying Mbappe, Ronaldo, Pele, Hullet. We're going for gamer tags now, and all the creativity is out from all of these players. We'll start with on Entei from left to right here with their team. Both teams are setting up in a 3-5-2. We must talk about that first and foremost. So starting in goal, it's going to be N1 Sola. From left to right at that back three, it's going to be Big Arj, Zamu 15, CS Madrigal, and then the midfield three. Of course, the midfield three there. You got Paul Beltran, the club captain. We'll be speaking to him in just a couple of minutes' time. And of course, Zelspil. I don't know why I've said three. It's a 2 CDM midfield there. And then from left to right, of course, in that midfield, you've got Juan Lakaku, Agus, Jose Ballon, and up top, leading the line, the two strikers of all the pressure on them today, it will be Kalana and Jose Lino. On the other side of that, for NGL All-Stars, we've got Flo in goal, a back three of Jeff, Mark and Lucas, the two CDM partnership there of D the G. We'll be speaking to him in just a second. The mouthful name here, that I know he's in the Twitch chat, I'm going to go for it, of Luwam Ikaba. I'll get better at that over the night, I can assure you. And then from left to right, we've got Maximus Bloom, Ray in that sort of Tekariska role. I can't even say the word. Deshki 25, and then up top leading the line, Tony and Mark. That is the team there, Richard. And of course, both of the 3-5-2. What is that word I'm looking for?
You're looking for Terakista.
Terakista. Why is that a mouthful for me tonight? There you go. Those are both the teams. Richard, 3-5-2 then. Is that the formation this year in pro clubs from your time dabbling in it and having a lot of opportunity to watch the VPGs, the VFLs? Is that the formation to go for this year? I've played a little bit and we've played 3-5-2. It seems like a good formation to use, but then you've also got to defend with the crossing aspect of FIFA 21, which is a little bit of a pain and very overpowered at the moment.
Yeah, it's the standard formation, shall we say. It's sort of the standard bearer is a 3-5-2. You tend to have your three centre-backs. Your right centre-back and your left centre-back will be using left wing-back builds, more than likely. They could use centre-back builds, but it's a little bit more clunky. Your two CDMs, they will be your ball winners. Think of two N'Golo Kantes in the squad. Your wide players, some teams will adopt to have strikers or right forward and left forwards in that area. So you're playing as a striker build at left mid or right mid to provide sort of high width. They want him really high up the pitch and in tight to the strikers. Some teams will adopt more sort of defensive wing play, and it will be wing back roles more than likely. And you'll tend to see a 5-back and then the two CDMs sat in front of that. Your cam is the important area. On FIFA 20, especially in pro clubs, I used to hate playing cam. You had no time on the ball, you couldn't really turn, you couldn't affect the game a lot. In FIFA 21, I played cam a little bit more, and it does feel like a sort of a viable position. You can play, even with the cam build, some do, usually a centre-forward build in that area. You do get time on the ball, you can dribble, you can create moves. Your two strikers expect a lot of play down the wings, or the other style of play that you can adopt. We tend to see, if you've ever watched Billy Season and Shells and those sort of players, I was watching Led Binken the other day in a Pro Clubs tournament. They get very compact up front. They get very, very tight, and it's just quick 1-2 passing. Almost like you don't have time to take a second touch, because as soon as you get the ball, you're pinging it off to the player next to you straight away. So there's a couple of different sort of, you would say, standard bearer tactic formations instruction on competitive 11-man clubs, But at the end of the day, I've played in teams where they've played a 4-3-3, I've played in a false 9, I've played in a 5-back, I've played a lot of different ways. And really, it's all about what you're comfortable as a team. Typically, the 3-5-2, if you're playing with more, especially the All-Stars, where it could have been a team that's not thrown together, but a team that's not compatible with each other, where they might have had a little bit less experience playing together, a 3-5-2 is tend to what you play.
Yeah, well, again, as we said, we can't wait to get into this game today. We can see the Twitch has a lot of love for the Cabba crew. I know that man's in CDM for the NPL All-Stars. But we are going to have something special before we do jump into our matches. We're going to speak to the two club captains for both of these teams to get a little bit of an insight, Richard, to how they're feeling about today's tournament. I think we'll kick it off with, on Ente Esports, I believe we've got Paul Beltra in the building first. If you can hear us, Paul Beltra, can you hear us? There he is. Good evening to you, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, good. What about you?
We're doing very well. We're doing very well. Of
you,
course,
Paul.
talk to us about the journey you've been on with your team, because you were the team that has come through the qualifying stage. You've made it to today's grand finals. How was the qualifying process for you, and how excited are you about tonight's final?
Okay, so we played I think 5-6 games in the qualifier against most of top teams of Europe, and it was tough, but we made it to the final, and we are really excited to play today against the top tier German players.
Nice. Just a one question for me, split into two parts. Tactically, how are you going to be playing? Do you have a specific play style? Is it tiki-taka? Is it more long ball? What are you looking to get out of the game?
We usually play fast tiki-taka through the mid, and then we usually just finish the plays with the extra pass to the wings and just score by there.
Yeah, some would say. Sorry, Rich. I was going to say, some would say, Paul Beltra, is that tiki-taka because you guys are all from Spain and it's just ingrained in you?
Nah, it's just, I don't know, we like to play this way, and it works, so we enjoy it.
The final question for myself before we let you go. Who is the one danger player? Who's the key player that the opposition need to be watching out for in this game?
Well, with our attack, every player is dangerous, but I would say Joselinho is the K guy in attack.
There you go. Heard it from the club captain himself. Good luck tonight,
Thank you.
Paul Beltra, and hopefully we'll catch you in a little while to speak about the matchup. Let's flip then, Richard, to the team that have been invited into tonight's tournament, the NGL All-Stars. I believe we are joined by one of the club's CDMs, D the G. You here, my friend?
Yeah, I hear you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Thank you very much for joining us. I mean, talk to us on the other side. How excited are you for tonight's grand final? And was it? I'm sure it was nice to get the invite to come in to play this one.
So I'm really happy to play for this team, and we have a team. It's very, very strong. So we have Tony and Mark in the attack with Ray, and best German goalkeeper. Yes, we have trained a lot, and we are not here to search friends, so we will win this game.
Good to hear. I asked the other team, tactically, how are you looking to play in this matchup? What should we be looking out for as the audience and as the commentators?
So we know about the opponent, so we will see.
Okay.
Amazing. I believe it. I was going to say, sorry to interrupt, Rich. I believe it's Cabba we're speaking to, not D the G. Am I correct on that? It is Cabba.
Yeah, he is.
It is
right. Yeah.
I was going to say, have you got any words of encouragement to the Cabba crew that are currently watching you right now on Twitch? They've got a lot of love for you.
My community is very, 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 very nice. So yeah, I'm confident, and yeah.
Very confident indeed. Final question for myself. What's a score prediction? What is the score going to be?
Well, I think so. Under 3 goals, I don't think that there are many goals in the game. But yeah, we will see.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Cabba. Good luck. I'm sure the Cabba crew will follow you through this one. And again, thank you to both club captains for joining us on the broadcast tonight. As I said, we are going to be jumping into this one in a minute. But Richard, I mean, very different opinions there. Both playing a 3-5-2 in this one. Tiki-taka football from the Spaniards, all from Spain. They'll be playing in the Celta Vigo kits in this game, and then it will be in the RedBull Leipzig kits on the other side of that for the NGL All-Stars. I do apologise there. I thought we were speaking to D the G, but we were actually speaking to Cabba himself, so I do apologise for jumping in there, Rich. But I just saw just 2 different voice channels moving. I was like, I'm sure that isn't D the G, and it was Cabba, and I think the Twitch chat were all having a laugh at us there. We'll speak to the Twitch chat quickly. We can see the Twitch chat. Let us know a team that's going to win, or give us a score prediction, because this is an aggregate scoreline over the 2 games, Richard. You've been in a lot of clubs' games before. There has been games where I've seen low scoring. You know, you heard it from Cabba, though. He doesn't expect to see more than 3 goals. In your opinion, clubs can go anywhere, though, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you get those really open games where it just seems like everything goes in. Other times, lots of AI blocks, lots of bodies behind the ball. Because it's quite rare that you get a 2-legged clubs game. Usually it's one and done. Usually it's one game. Yeah. If it goes to extra time, penalties, it's over. So I'm expecting the first leg to be a little bit more nervy, and then potentially the second leg, the players to maybe try and express themselves a little bit more. But we heard Joselino is the player to watch out for Orente, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in action. Lots of Cabba Crews in the chat. A lot. We'll soon get to see what the people at home think the scoreline is going to be. But if I had to put my neck on the line, I think the simple fact that Orente came through the tournament, they've had maybe a little bit more experience playing together. I would expect them to clutch up this series. I'm going to say 3-1.
3-1, there you go. Heard it from the words of Richard Buckley. And here we go. I think it is finally time to get this RedBull game in World by Logitech G online series underway for the grand finals. And we're delighted to be here, myself, Brandon Swift, and Richard Buckley guiding you through this. And from what I believe, it looks like we have actually got both club captains on screen here. Cabba on the left, Cabba on the right, I should say, from NGL All-Stars, and then Orente from left to right in this one. Of course, RedBull Leipzig strip from right to left will be that NGL team. Quite a quick start here, Richard. You saw the kick-off there, a sort of Stoke-esque ball forward on them that your centre-backs are going to have to deal with. But the biggest thing about this is with 11-man clubs is your movement, your player switching, your decision-making has to be perfect. And it was Agus there, nearly getting us underway, Richard, about 4 minutes in.
Yeah, beautiful. You saw the ball out wide, headed back into the box, first time shot. Just commenting on that kick-off. That's typically what you do. You'll play it long and then you try and win the second ball. That's where the danger is going to come from. Getting your CDMs high up the pitch to win that second ball and go straight back at your opponent.
Well, they're free-flowing in the attack. Spaniard side. Of course, they were the team that went through the qualifiers in this one. On the other side of that, for NGL, Rich, they must feel a little bit of pressure. They've been the team that's been invited here. Clearly, they've got status in this community to gain themselves an invite. And they're walking straight into a cash game. Let's not forget that. Even if they lose today, they take home money.
Yep. So maybe the pressure less so on NGL, but they'll be looking to certainly live up to their reputation. I see a lot of people in the chat as well that are familiar Pro Clubs players. L. Robbins. I've played with him myself a couple of times, and what a player.
First time we've seen NGL get into the box of Orente. Doesn't come to anything. If you have just tuned in, welcome along. Good evening. You're watching the RedBull Gaming World online series featuring pro clubs, brought to you by Logitech. Looking at an aggregate scoreline here across 2 individual matches to crown our champion tonight. Here they come again. Free flow, and they literally said when they do play, Rich, is 1 or 2 touches, not too many more. The ball's got to move, and it's got to move really fast. Long ball forward. Go out to Tony. He's got pace, and he has got a lot there. Little cheeky chip. Nice little turn from Ray, who's in that cam area. Could be a chance through on goal for Mark if he can find a shot. He's juggling in the box. And Another golden opportunity that's just gone wide of that left-hand post.
Real good chance. The ball bounced all the way into the back post plenty of times. You see goals like that on pro clubs, ball just bouncing around the box. You don't know where it's going to end up.
This could be a
Surprised it
chance.
hit the target.
Straight down the other end. For one end, so lovely dink ball towards that back post, and see a flow went off his line, able to collect that one and get rid of the danger. But 25 minutes in, Richard, both teams actually been able to create a really good chance each. No one been able to break the deadlock as of yet.
I think the chances that we've seen, we've automatically seen the two styles of play. NGL looking for those balls over the top, the L1 triangles. And the more slow build-up tiki-taka, certainly coming out from the Spanish side.
As we said, winner tonight takes home 1,500 Swiss francs. Get that into your currency converter, you'll find out that's a lot of money. Ball forward again. They're loving playing off this back line at the moment. Just slightly too heavy there. Goalkeeper's off his line as well. But there's a lot of pressure on those centre-backs. With the 3-5-2, Richard, you've got to be the right build when building your pro. You've got a pace on you, first and foremost, but also got to be tall enough and strong enough to win the ball in the air. We know how crossing is this year on FIFA 21, and I'm sure we'll at least see one or two crosses in these two legs because it's such a dangerous way of scoring.
Yeah, I can tell you in the second leg, if it goes 60th minute, 75th minute, those centre-backs will be getting thrown up, and that ball will just get thrown into the box no matter what. You expect prime Tony Pulis Stoke City to come out. You can play the tiki-taka all you want, but if it's not going right for you, the ball will be getting swung in there, and you'll be playing on the knockdowns, you'll be playing on the second balls, the loose balls, hoping for a goalkeeper animation. We've all been there, playing any sort of competitive clubs. Anything can happen, and I mean anything.
One thing that fascinates me about 11-man pro clubs, just that swarm of shirts, especially in the midfield, swarming from left to right every single time. The man who hit the post, Agus, in possession there, does get dispossessed by Ray. The player's been wearing that number 10 shirt in the cam, in the 4. Across that midfield, just a couple of minutes before half-time. In our first leg here, 0-0 between the two teams. There has been chances evenly split. Better of the two, you would say, coming for on Ente. They hit the post just 9 minutes into the game. Lovely long ball forward again. They're getting so much joy out on this right-hand side, but slightly too heavy.
As we are just coming into half-time, that's actually going to do us for half-time with that slide tackle. I think you would say the better chance of the first half certainly fallen to NGL. That one at the back post, surprised he didn't hit the target. Neither team hit the target so far. Possession going for the Spanish side on Ente, as we expected. But really not too much to report at half-time.
Yeah, matched up exactly the same formation. You can see the chances there on the match facts. I mean, Cabba said we're not going to see more than 3 goals. At the moment, we're following that script. 45 minutes played here, 0-0. If you have just tuned in, this is the RedBull Gaming World online series brought to you in part by Logitech. This is your grand finals for the FIFA 21 Pro Clubs tournament. I'm looking at the two face cams of the club captain here as well. If you are waiting to see some reactions, there will be some.
The nerves will be playing somewhat of a part as well, not only for the simple fact that you're playing for a considerable amount of money, but also you're playing in front of a lot of your peers, you're playing in front of a lot of your competitors right now on the RedBull Twitch channel. You're playing in front of about 300 people as well, so there will be nerves there. That first half, I think, players settling down.
Here we go. Again, we're back on the way for the second half here. There's the Spaniard side on top, looking to build their way back into creating their second chance. Only one shot apiece so far in this. A little bit of a chess match. Naturally, with so much money on the line, no one wants to make that first mistake, that first initial error. That's where those two CDMs are going to be so key, offering support. Who could be a chance? Whips that ball across the box. And all the way from left wing. Has to get back and defend as Maximus Bloom. This could be a counter-attack, though.
If in doubt, all the way back to the keeper. You thought it could have been on for a second, the counter. Not really seen either keeper tested as of yet. All I had to do is play it long from the goal kick.
I think there's two positions, Richard, that I really don't enjoy playing in pro clubs as just a casual goalkeeper, and I'd probably say striker, because both of them you feel like you've got so much pressure on you, in my opinion.
If we were playing right now, Brandon, and you could pick any position, where you playing?
You know where I'd be. I'd have my shirt tucked in and I'd be in CDM.
Almost
I know exactly where you would be.
Parker.
You would be... I think you'd be out on the wing.
Out on the wing?
We played against each other a couple of times in the past. You used to drop out in the right wing area.
I'm just a roaming striker, that's all, mate. Adrift.
Or a cam, or a number 10.
Yeah. Get the ball into my feet, get things ticking over.
There's another chance for on Ente. Well defended at the back there. 2/3 of this game have been played already. Remember, it's an aggregate scoreline, so there will be a second match that comes up following straight after it. So if we are all square, it literally may as well be a one and done. Should watch out for that number 7. Lovely ball to the back post. He just hasn't been able to act on it. It's going to be a throw-in. Really strong start to this half. The team that went through the qualification. They won their spot to be here tonight. Cesspolu, dispossessed. This is where the counter-attacks can be dangerous. You've got 2 or 3 NGL shirts running forward. Players with a lot of pace. The CDMs have done very well. Just to drop back and cover up that space. And you can see how many blue shirts are around. Ray there, pretty much suffocating him. Had to just get rid of the ball eventually.
Decent chance. I feel that's... He's seen something that I've not seen on that far side. He's on for the diagonal. Both defenders played pretty decent so far. Being very impressed by Jeff97 at left centre-back. Being very switched on. Watching the balls over his head.
Not too much to deal with, either team, in all honesty. Whether that's been the battle of the midfield that's won every time. Teams literally matching up in a 3-5-2. So they've both got space in the same areas, and they've both got the issues in the same areas. Even one goal would be something to take into that second leg. Honestly, could be a match winner.
Tell you what, Joselino, he's got quite a big build, you know, there. You used to see him 5'6", 5'4", up top. But you could say, what, at least 5'11", maybe 6 foot, 6'1". Just looking at him compared to the CBs.
Here come NGL. Do get dispossessed. Samu just hoofs that one out the pitch and into Rosette. I mean, speaking of the correct build, is it something that you have to discuss with your team in terms of who's built to a certain height in certain areas? Because, you know, don't get me wrong, everyone's sort of, I'd say, on the average, not too far off 6 foot, I'd say, but there must be a couple of sort of nippy CDMs that drop down. Your wingers can't always be as tall as you want. Could be a chance now. Lovely cut back inside, and it's going to be a goal. We've waited a long time for it. And who else is it? The guy that hit the post. Agus gets onto the score sheet. 78 minutes onto the clock in.
Very well taken. He talked about the one more pass, that little Cushing header just into the path of Agus. And a big goal in the complexion of this game for Onente. Can they build on that now? The competition winners putting NGL under very, very big amount of pressure. I just saw an attack mounted. I had to pause for a second.
8 more minutes, Richard, and there could be more danger. Have the Spaniards now starting to find their way into the tie. Lovely ball. Love that little set piece. Playing to someone in or around the box. Just a simple X pass. Or an X press if you're on the PlayStation, of course, and just try and tee it back into that box to someone in and around the area. 6 minutes left. NGL pushing on. They want an equaliser. There is going to be a second leg. Remember that. Working in really tight space. It's going to be an equaliser. He's bouncing around the box. And eventually, someone, for an Ente, just got rid of that. Would be such a sloppy goal to concede. One, honestly, to forget. Could be another chance. Tony runs into his own player. Mark back to goal. Trying to find just something. Look how many blue shirts are in that box. Just can't deal with it, though. Cannot deal with this NGL pressure they're under. Mark, little scoop turn away from his man. It's another hoofed clearance by Madrigal that time. Added time to follow, probably nothing more than a minute. Possession currently in the midfield. Will there be enough time to break forward?
Second goal will be huge.
One Ente.
Free kick.
Going to pull it back for a free kick. Get everyone in that box. Little time left. That will probably do us, Richard, for leg number 1 in this one. On Ente, the challengers up by a goal to nil. Who else was it that scored the goal? He's been the creative cam in the team, Agus. Tell you what!
Ooh.
For a split second, that was going to be on target, and I don't know if that was someone off the training ground as well. A lovely little cushion header, Richard, back into the path of the cam. It might have even been Agus again, looking to cause nightmares for this NGL team. We might even get to see this replay quickly. Really well done. Cut back inside.
I think it was Joselino who actually just dinked it over the top. This one right here, just a little chip over the top of the man. The cushion header back inside. And a fantastic goal. But it's all come from the vision of that little dinked pass over the top of the defender. A fantastic, well-worked goal. We saw it coming, you would say. The chance was building. They had the one in the first half that didn't hit the target. They had a couple of half chances, but a real well-taken goal from Onente. And that gives them a 1-goal lead going into the second leg of this all-important final.
Yeah, if you have just tuned in, of course, to the RedBull Gaming World by Logitech G online series featuring FIFA 21 Pro Clubs, you might not be aware of tonight's format. It is an aggregate scoreline over 2 separate games. So the Spaniards of Onente are up by a goal to nil at the moment. But we've got to talk about the danger man, Richard. That man was the danger man in the team. He hit the post and, of course, he scored a goal. I might as well call him that number 10. He was here, there and everywhere, so it seemed.
Yeah, everything seemingly going through Agus in that central attacking midfield role. And it's a position, I was saying before the game, if you can get on the ball, you can really affect the match from Cam. But if you, as soon as you get it, you've got 2 CDMs right on you and you can't turn, you've got nowhere to move, you really start to become frustrated. You become sort of isolated in that Cam role. And that's when you tend to see balls getting hit over the top and playing the wings and going for your strikers because you can't get in the game. If your Cam does get in the game and can get those touches on the ball and can get things sort of ticking through them, you can be a real successful outfit in the attacking third.
Well, that is going to do us for game number 1 of tonight's broadcast. We are going to head to a quick break now to freshen up and get ready for this second matchup. So do not go anywhere. The second leg will be coming up in just a couple of minutes' time.
Jetzt ist nichts mehr so wie früher, jetzt pendeln die Menschen, jetzt rücken wir zusammen, jetzt wird man informiert und unterhalten. Jetzt ist da Werbung dabei, jetzt schreiben nur trotzdem echte Journalisten. Jetzt sind wir Pioniere, jetzt glaubt das wieder keiner, jetzt sind wir wieder die Einzigen. Jetzt ist 2019, jetzt ist unsere DNA seit 20 Jahren.
Powered by UBC.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Red Bull Gaming World online series sponsored by Logitech G, of course, featuring FIFA 21 Pro Clubs. My name is Brandon Smith, and of course, joining me on the broadcast as ever is Richard Buckley, our first ever FIFA Pro Clubs commentary tonight. We've just seen our first game played between Anente FC and NGL All-Stars. That game finished 1-0, but what's important to remember, Richard, it's an aggregate scoreline. So that one goal could be wiped away within seconds of this second leg, couldn't it?
Yeah, and also that one goal could win the series for Onente if this second leg finishes 0-0. So you would say the story of this second leg is all about who scores the first goal in this game. If NGL can get it, take us into a level playing field, I believe it will be golden goal in the third game. We're going to get confirmation on that, but I think it will then go to a third game and we'll play golden goal instead of extra time and penalties in the series.
I was going to say, if you've just tuned in tonight, good evening to everybody. Welcome along. Thank you for tuning in. We just saw a really tight game between the two teams. There was literally 2 shots to separate them until about the 60th minute, Richard. And then, I mean, you may as well call him the star of the show for Anente, and that cam roll in the 3-5-2, that central cam roll just behind the 2 strikers. Agus hit the post 8 minutes into the game and then was the player to break the deadlock, Richard, about 20 minutes left. NGL had a couple of scrappy efforts in the box, but you could say the Great Wall of Anente stood strong. So many blue shirts back there, and in the end, they just were able to defend it, weren't they?
Well, a lot of the time, especially on 11-man clubs, if you've got a goal and you've got something to defend, there's really nothing stopping you putting 9 behind the ball and just leaving maybe 1 or 2 strikers up top. This is why the 3-5-2 is so good, because you can get your wingers to really drop in deep, your CDMs to just stand on the strikers' toes, and you've sort of got like a back 5 with 2 CDMs in front. It's really hard to break it down. It'll require maybe a skill move or 2 in the final third to try and force a penalty, try and force a mistake in the back, or it will need to be some great sort of double tap in around the box, or 1-2 here or there to break down that Onente defence. But if anything, if I've taken anything away from the first leg, it's that Onente, I'm expecting more of the same.
If you're wondering who is on the screen at the moment, these are 2 finalists here. NGL All-Stars were the team that were invited into tonight's final. On the other hand of that, for Anente, they were the team that went through our qualifying stage. The tournament hosted by Red Bull Gaming World involved many, many teams. Only one could get to this stage in a grand final. And it has been the Spanish side that love to play tiki-taka football. And this is one thing you're going to get accustomed to when you see these guys in action. They might have the first chance of this second leg. Doesn't come to anything in the end. They are kicking from right to left in the Celta Vigo kits. And now the German side, the All-Stars, of course, kicking from left to right in the Red Bull Leipzig one. As I said, the people on the webcams in front of you, that's the 2 club captains for both of these teams. You've got Pel Beltra, one of the CDMs of Anente, and you've also got another one of the CDMs. You've got Kaba from the NGL All-Stars on the right-hand side of your screen. He's had nothing to really cheer about at the moment. Unfortunately, his team are down by 1-0, but there's plenty of time left in this one. As we know in pro clubs, or even FIFA, anything can happen, and even with a couple of minutes left, a lot of things can change. It was only about half an hour ago, Richard, you were showing me a comeback that you had with your local club's team, where you were 2 goals down with about 8 minutes left. You turned it around and went on to win the game in extra time.
Yeah, went on to win the tournament as well. Buckley Ball FC, Long Ball FC, whatever you want to call it, we get the job done. But as you were saying, with the small margins of pro clubs, if that free kick would have gone in 90th minute, and then Onente coming into the second leg 2-0 up, completely different game. That's a great ball.
Keeper's off his line. He's gone to try and commit for it. He's off his line now. Is he going to try and whip that ball into the box? It was an effort that had to be really speeded up. And the quality was pretty poor. Does win the ball back. This is NGO All-Stars trying to find some sort of a half-hearted chance. A late tackle there coming in from one of the CDMs. He's out of position. That was Cabba that made the tackle. Club captain Juan Lukaku. A lot of people have been talking about this man in the chat, saying watch out for him. And it goes to Canella, and unfortunately for NGO, it goes out for a corner to be defended. 17 minutes left. 17 minutes into this tie in our second leg. Up by a goal to nil. Towards the front post. It's flicked on towards the back post. It's going to be put back in the goal. It's nearly an own goal. Cleared off the line. Thank goodness keeper's there eventually. Still not fully dealt with. Agus dinks it into the box. And it's a penalty of all.
What did I say?
Well, there's a chance, Richard, to put pressure on this man's shoulders. Trosalenu goes right, scores.
Fantastic penalty as well from Joselino. But what did I say? Sometimes you just keep on putting the ball inside the box. I think it must have been a stray lunging circle press from one of the defenders. It's ended up, as he's tried heading the ball away, he's gave it as a penalty in the end there. Heartbreak for NGL. And on Onente lead 2-0.
Rosalino, people said watch out for him, the number 7, one of those leading strikers for the Spanish side. Onente up by 2-0. But you're right, Richard, it was cross after cross, attack after attack. There was nearly an own goal within the mix-up. But eventually, we'll have to have a look at that one on a replay to see how bad of a tackle it was. Was it just an accidental press of a sort of standing lunge that we often see all the time in FIFA? Got to be careful. As soon as that ball's in the box, you can't be diving in. And I think that's one thing that impresses me, Richard, on pens in pro clubs. You get keepers that will dive the same way, but because the penalty is put literally into the corner, it's unsavable.
Yeah. Top corner from Joselino. Great finish from the so-called star man in this team. I saw a lot of people in the chat talking about him as well, saying he's certainly one to watch. And dispatched from the spot.
Well, Rich, 2 goals up now. 60 minutes left. Just over that in the tie. Is this a bit of a mountain now to climb for NGL after what we've seen so far? Because they've struggled to attack. They've struggled to break down this defence.
Yeah, I mean, look, that penalty, it's very hard luck, in all honesty. They go for you, they go against you in FIFA 21. But I don't feel like they've shown enough in the final third to warrant themselves feeling hard done by. Because it's not like they've had 10 chances, 6 on target, and it's been very tight, the game. You would say on the balance of play, Onente have probably been the better side.
I think for the chances they've created, the way they've defended, the midfield battles, they've been really consistent. We've got to see more from the team that were invited tonight to play in this grand final. I go by the name of the NGL All-Stars, and unfortunately, we haven't seen a single goal. Their best chance came in the first half of the first leg. That'll be at the back of their minds now. Could be a chance for Ray towards the back post. What a save.
Great save from the goalkeeper. He came all the way across. He read the pass in his box and did really well to position himself. That's a corner, and that's a goal. Big goal for NGL. We talked about the power of the set piece. Onto the edge of the box, headed down. And now 2-1 on Ente lead.
Not just the goal, Richard. A wake-up call for the NGO All-Stars. What a set piece that was. Clip it, watch it back, take it all in. Lovely ball towards the back post. And on the volley in the right top corner. Unbelievable strike there from Tony, I believe it was.
I'll tell you why.
Maybe that's what they needed.
Absolutely. I'll tell you why that set piece worked. Because it was done quickly. It wasn't like 3, 4, 5 seconds of talking and deliberation. It was instinctive. The new edge of the box, head it down, volley.
Could be a chance before the end of the half. Lovely little elastico. Chance for Onente comes to nothing. Hoof long, 3 minutes left before we go into additional time. And a bit of a running race at the back Zamo comes out on top. Had quite a lot of pressure around him. Just lays it off to Big Arge. Do very well to get themselves out of that spot of bother. Minute left plus additional time. You just saw Cabba there looking at the time. Well, they have one more chance. Could be a runner. Could be through if he's got the pace on him. It's Mark 17. Goes down to ground. Got to be careful there. That will not be a red. Not too sure if he even went into the referee's book. Something else off a set piece here. 22 metres out. Of course, you can't have a goalkeeper on the line. That is one of the rules. Lovely. Oh, what a save. Surely not. What a save again.
What a save from Soler, that is. Not only has he's sort of read the free kick, he's great in ingenuity from the free kick. Passes it into his feet. R1 dummy through his legs. First time shot across the goal. It's a very, very good save originally from Soler. And as the ball bounces back into the danger area, the GK has managed to get back up and scoop it off of his line.
What did we say, Richard? When you're in goal in pro clubs, honestly, you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. One mistake, you're going to get moaned at for pretty much the whole game. And sometimes 9 times out of 10, you can cost your team a game. But what a save. Clawed that off the line. Remarkable. I mean, the set piece was brilliant. It was a lovely jacks. It was a great shot on goal. The save originally was again, fantastic. And I thought that was a tap-in. I thought it was an easy tap-in. There just wasn't enough on the ball. And I still don't know how the goal he got there. Well. 45 minutes left, Richard. 2 goals to 1. Onense lead at the moment. They're 45 in-game minutes away from taking home the grand prize. And of course, now 1,500 Swiss francs.
All I'll say is at the start of the match, Brandon, you asked me for a prediction. I said 3-1 on Inte.
I mean, one more goal for me would
Wrap it up.
Near enough, yeah. Wrap it up. The way that we've seen Onense playing, it would mean a serious change in terms of something. When your centre-backs just have to go for it. NGL just trying to knock on the door. So many white shirts there, trying to push through that defensive line, that midfield. 2 CDMs, of course, that 3 at the back. Could be a chance. NGL knocking on the door. They're really starting to find their form over these last sort of 10, 15 in-game minutes.
Great interception from Big Arge.
Looking for a cross potentially here. Just able to delay it. Juan Lukaku, Agus, lays it back into one of those 2 trusty CDMs. Eventually comes to nothing. It's another hoofed through ball. Is he going to be able to keep it in play? Just a little bit too heavy there.
Just so I was saying it then, Big Arge being very impressed by the CDM of Onente.
Well, this is where you need your heroes to stand up. These big match players. They might do it for you in the competitive pro club leagues, Division 1s, whatever the division against friends. You need it now. Time is running out and passes like that. Just not locked onto the ball there.
There's always time, though. There is always time. It's a real good switch of play.
He's going to switch it back across. It's something he's been very hesitant to do. I just don't think there's been an option on at the back post. Lovely dink. Asking a bit too much of the forward there. You have just tuned in. The first leg was 1-0 to Onente. So they're up by 2 goals to 1 at the moment on an aggregate scoreline. And they're 25 in-game minutes away from a victory here. just got to defend well and keep it together, which the centre-backs have done so far. One more goal would seal the deal. I mean, forget the goals, Richard, that have scored. That save from Sulla. Got to be up there. One of the moments from this final.
Oh, the double save was a thing of magic. You just see those left mid and right mids, when they're defending, just dropping back into shape. Big Arge. Left centre back. Just popped up in the CDM area for a second.
If you're watching home and you're trying to break down what's going to happen in this game, NG will have to score to take this into a goal-to-goal scenario. What a tackle from Big Arge there. Had to be so sure on it, and that's exactly what he was.
The chance here.
You can feel there's just a wave of pressure here, though, Richard. Lovely ball forward again. Superb defended at the back. I don't know whether they've just
the game's been won.
Defensively. Tactics around.
Yeah. For Ornente have been on top form, in all honesty. Even the foul that they gave away leading to the free kick, that's a decision that you make where it's like, we might concede this, I'm going to take one for the team. And you just bring him down.
They've been on one hell of a journey. Avonente went through rounds of qualification to make this happen. Remember, it's only a goal they need to send this into a golden goal scenario. Think back to that big moment. Joselino, that penalty was so important. Lovely dink. Can he be headed away again? Seems like there's always a blue shirt at the right moment at the moment. Another chance now. One of the last few of the game. Again, another blue shirt there. It's still not fully dealt with. NGL, another great shot, another great block. And it goes for a corner in the end. This is where you've got to be creative. Forget plan A, forget plan B. We're down to about C or D at the moment. Whipped in towards that back post. Keeper's just teased off his line. He's tried to be hoofed back into the box again. You've got to win those aerial battles. Chance last one of the game. Get clear. 7 minutes left. The ball is just falling back to an NGL shirt. Again and again and again. Now they'll get time to just have a breather, Richard. It's a tough one being in these scenarios with 5 in-game minutes left. I mean, what do you do? Do you play to the corner? Do you get just one of your 2 strikers on the ball in that 3-5-2?
Yeah, I think it's all about... That's a great switch of play. It alleviates the pressure. You can open up the pitch a little bit more. Get your team a little bit higher up the pitch as well. That switch, in all honesty, could have just won the game for Ornente.
We'll see it probably one more time, and it'll be the final chance of the game for the NGL All-Stars. It's been a much better performance from them in this second leg, but a really slow start in the first leg from them tonight. I think if you look on paper, Rich, at those big match moments, the chances that have been formed, NGL just haven't been at their mark. They still will have one more chance now. Added time to follow. This is the last chance of the game. They score. We go to golden goal. Get rid of the ball. 20 in-game seconds left, and Ornente will be your champions here of RedBull Gaming World Online Series, and they will be your FIFA 21 Pro Club champions. 1,500 Swiss francs richer. And alongside that trophy, as I said, it was a tight game, Richard, but I do think that team just slightly deserved it there. Clutch save, superb defending, clinical in the final third. Of course, maybe a little bit fortunate with that penalty, but still, Joselino kept his nerve from the spot, put it into that right top corner, and they are your winners for this RedBull Gaming World, brought to you by Logitech G Online Series, Richard. Congratulations.
He had quite a lot of pressure on him from the spot as well, because you 1-0 up, you score that goal, you go 2-0 up, you're probably thinking in the back of your head, that's the game. 2-0 up with, 60 minutes left to play. Dispatched the penalty, into the top bins, but you saw the stats. They didn't have a lot of shots and shots on target, but they had 63% possession of the ball. If your opponent is only having 30, 35%, every time they get the ball, in order to even get in the game to score goals, they've got to be unbelievable, almost perfect in the final third when they have the ball, because you're getting so little of it. You don't get multiple chances to score. And I think it was just through attrition. They just whittled them down time and time again. They didn't give them the chances. It was pretty no-nonsense defensive-wise. Sometimes, if there's no pass on, just go long. Look, put it out of play if need be. They were hitting the switches a lot as well, which alleviated a lot of pressure on one side of the pitch. They'd switch it over to the left, switch it over to the right, and a very good team performance. I don't think it was a standout player, but a team performance from Onente.
Yeah, I think you summed up there, team. They're all from Spain. They're all from pretty much the same city as well. They have been grinding through this process. Rounds of qualifiers, Richard, to even get to this stage that happened last December, the last month of the year in 2020. But yeah, they came into today. They knew the challenge that was in front of them against this NGO All-Stars team. They came with the reputation, the pressure behind them. But over the two games that we saw, just a better team. And I think you can list quite a few star players out there. I think you're right. Agus was the star of the show in leg number 1. But leg 2, we had Solid with a clutch save. We had the penalty. There was just a lot of good moments. The back 3 was solid as well. That back 3, those 3 centre-backs, they had a lot to do. Big Arge was in there. Of course, Samu was also superb. It was a stacked team.
I don't think he's pronounced Big Arge, but that's what we just nicknamed him, and he will live on forever in my mind as Big Arge at left centre-back. But a fantastic performance from the GK as well. Soler, that double save, and also the save earlier in the game where he did a pre-dive, he read the danger all the way across his box, and then was in the right place at the right time. Just a really good defensive performance.
Yeah, really, really good. We are going to be joined by the club captain of Onente Esports in just a couple of minutes' time to speak to him through this journey they've been on. As I said, it's been a long road for the Spaniards, but congratulations to them. They will be your champions here tonight. And Richard, first little taster of competitive pro clubs for us, and a very competitive game. It's not as end-to-end and as crazy as people may think in terms of 5-4 wins or a clean sweep of 4 goals to 0. You got everyone just on the same wavelength. I can't imagine how mental that party chat is in terms of communication. 11 players in there. Who gives the orders? Does the captain give the order, or do you just get on with your own job and you just speak when you need to?
Actually, a lot of the time, I've played a lot of clubs, and unless you've got a particularly lively party chat or Discord or whatever you're using, most of the time it's quite subdued. You'll have 1 or 2 sort of vocal leaders, usually a defender organising the line, when to drop, when to go forward, and usually a midfielder sort of saying, let's switch it, let's look for something. The strikers will talk to themselves, but for the most part, it's not as manic as people might think. The only time he sort of gets vocal is on set pieces, where you're saying where we're going, if you get in the lineup, if you're defending a set piece, or if you're being the offensive team on a corner or a free kick, where you want people positioned, have we got enough numbers back, etc. As it is in real life, you often get a centre-back shouting at other players, pick a man up, mark him, get in this position. But for the most part, it's quite subdued.
I mean, how do you even come up with these set pieces as well, Richard? It's not like you can go to a practice arena with all 11 players in your team, and sometimes it always feels like it's created off the spot. But how do you practice them? Where do you practice them? Because I think set pieces were one of the biggest parts of that grand final in terms of the corners, in terms of the free kicks. We saw a goal come from one. We saw a half-hearted chance, an unbelievable save come from another. Like, they were the be-all and end-all in terms of the match. That was the only key difference in some ways to separate the two.
From free kicks, you'll play off the wall. So whatever side the wall's on, you will play off of that side, and then probably look for a skill move to get a shot away. If it's a little bit further out, you'll play in front of the wall and then typically dink it to the back post. But on corners, one word, and it's mismatch. If you've got a 3-5-2 and your opponent's playing a 3-5-2, that's why sometimes you've seen a taller striker as well, because you're looking for the mismatches. You're looking for, if you've got a 6'6" centre-back or a 6'4" centre-back against their 6'2" centre-back, you're going to play it into that particular player. So that's all you're looking for. You'll have a couple of things that you want to do: edge of the box, front post, or short, typically, or to the back post. But it's it's very much the case of listen to the call from the centre back where he wants the ball, where he's going to look for that knockdown, and just play it into the area.
Yeah, well, as you've missed it, you have just seen our champions of tonight are Onente FC, the Spanish esports team. We are going to be joined by one of their players right now to talk about that grand final win. I don't think it is the club captain. I think it is one of the defenders. Is it Zamu? How are you, my friend? Thank you very much for tuning in today and joining us. First and foremost, huge congratulations, mate. You did a very good job to keep that defence as tight as you did, because you had a lot to deal with in that game.
Hello, thank you for your congratulations. I speak a lot, know a lot of English, but I try it.
All good. We appreciate you trying. First question: were you expecting to win in the final? Did you come in thinking we are the better team?
We know the other team before the match. We play against they a lot of times in other tournaments. They are a very well team. I think that no have a principal winner. It's very draw. It's too difficult to select a favorite, I think.
Yeah, amazing stuff. I mean, can you talk about that save from Sola off the line? A fantastic save, probably the best moment of the game. That guy must have been getting shouted at, as a hero. What a save!
Soler is a great Spanish goalkeeper. He's top 1-2 Spanish goalkeeper at the moment, and I think that is the save of the tournament.
And final question from myself: how long have you all been playing as a team together? Because you had very good chemistry as a team. How long have you all been playing together as a team?
I don't understand the question. Well,
so as a squad, as 11 players, how long have you all been playing together? So 1 year, 2 years?
Yeah. Okay. We play 1 year ago. We start this team, but we have a small change in this year, and we find the best team, and we are beating the best rivals that we're going to find in these tournaments.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Zamu, for joining us. Congratulations to you and the rest of the team on your victory tonight. And stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll see you next time round there's a tournament. See you later, my friend.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Well done.
There you go. I'm surprised that man's not stressed, Rich. He had a lot to deal with. He was literally the centre back was Zamu there. Yeah. And again, appreciate him coming on alongside all of our competitors tonight to chat to us, give us a little bit of an inside scoop, Richard, into how they play. And yeah, you heard it there. They've been playing for, what, a year and a half, was it? A year and a bit more, just playing clubs together. And it's great to see that time together, that team cohesion comes out to get them a win tonight and to get them some decent money also.
Yeah, and I think not only the teams playing against each other, but I would love to see more of tournaments like these taking place within pro clubs. I think there's an appetite there for it from the club's community. Yeah. And I just looking at some of the names that we've seen in the chat tonight, I saw JCC reply to my tweet saying that we're going live. People want to see clubs content and clubs competitions and sort of it presented, if you know what I mean. So I think this is a very good starting point for this community to potentially move on, and we might see more and more. And hopefully, I absolutely loved it. And I think it also showed to a lot of people that it's not the perceived 11v11 manic, everyone rings the ball like you often hear in regards to like playground football. It's very much regimented. There's a lot of people on that pitch all knowing their job, and they might not do 10 skill moves. It might not be a left mid that's really expressing themselves, but they're doing a job on the pitch, and they've walked away with €1,500 tonight.
Yeah, they have indeed. I mean, we've got some sponsors to thank, Richard, in just a second. But before we do that, I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. I think, yes, we're not in normal times, so we can't see that 11v11 in-person pro clubs that you see them do over in Portugal and the thing. But there is no hiding the fact that pro clubs brings you those big match moments, isn't it? Whether it's online in a party chat or whether it's, actually in person, those big match moments, those saves. You can't imagine what the party chat was like when Sulla pulls out that incredible save, and of course when they get that winning moment. But just to get a huge congratulations again to Onente Esports. They will be your Red Bull Gaming World Champions, presented by Logitech for FIFA 21 Pro Clubs. Of course, Logitech and Red Bull helped to put this event on, but they weren't the only two sponsors, Richard, to help put this event on, were they?
No, we'd like to thank all our partners who helped put this event forward, and it's only possible events like this with the incredible work of our sponsors and partners. So for the final time this evening, AOC, MIFCOM, 20 Nuneaton, esports.ch, and also RTS Esports. We thank you for helping make this event a success.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that's watched as well and tuned in and got involved in tonight's action. Commiserations to NGL All-Stars. There can only be one winner tonight, and that will be Onente Esports. I've been Brandon Smith. He's been Richard Buckley, and it's good night from us and everybody here at the Red Bull Gaming World, presented by Logitech online series featuring FIFA 21 Pro Clubs. Hopefully it won't be the last time we do this year. Hopefully we can do it again very, very soon. But that is it from us tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you all very soon. Good night.
Jetzt ist nichts mehr so wie früher, jetzt pendeln die Menschen, jetzt rücken wir zusammen, jetzt wird man informiert und unterhalten, jetzt ist da Werbung dabei, jetzt schreiben nur trotzdem echte Journalisten, jetzt sind wir Pioniere, jetzt glaubt das wieder keiner, jetzt sind wir wieder die Einzigen, jetzt ist 2019, jetzt ist unsere DNA seit 20 Jahren.
Powered by UBC. no strangers to being alone. We're not perfect, we're just trying to find a place to rest our bones. Could it be you I can run to? 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 I can run to.